In a strange twist of fate, nuclear energy kind of cut its own throat. What does that mean? Let me explain. When we do nuclear energy design for reactors or transportation, waste disposal, those kinds of things, the design specification that we have in the nuclear industry is that the worst thing that can possibly happen is that nobody gets hurt. Those are basically the design specification for worst case scenarios, like a loss of coolant accident or a traffic accident for spent nuclear fuel, things like that. The worst that can possibly happen in these credible and hypothetical accident scenarios is that nobody gets hurt. Now that sounds crazy, right? I mean, who would design something so that the worst thing that can possibly happen is that nobody gets hurt? That's kind of insane, right? And yet we do that in the nuclear industry, so that if you have a 3 mile island, or you have any kind of a drum deflagration of nuclear waste in a geological repository, any of those kinds of things, the worst that can possibly happen by the design specification is that nobody gets hurt. Now that makes it really expensive. Nuclear is undoubtedly very expensive, but that's because we have incredibly strict and rigorous safety standards. But what that does to slit our throats is that it makes it sound more scary than it is. So that people will make arguments like, well, if nuclear is so safe, why do you need all of these extra controls? Here's an example right here. This is a very good example for nuclear waste. Ceramic encased in metal cladding, vacuum dried and welded shut in stainless liner. Yeah, that stuff must be harmless. They do all that for show. It's a great example of somebody trying to spin the narrative rather than recognizing how incredibly safe the design is, saying, if it was really that safe, why would you need all these controls? And the fact of the matter is that there definitely is risk with nuclear energy and radioactive materials, but it's mitigated. It's mitigated so that the worst that can possibly happen is that nobody gets hurt. That's the design specification for any kind of a hypothetical accident scenario that would be deemed credible. Highway accidents or nuclear meltdowns, those kinds of things. That's the specification, and that's why it's expensive. So, hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.